Are you ready, kids?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Subject High, the only podcast on the internet with a season 2 in 2022. Featuring the guests who do. That's gonna be a lot of echo.
That's gonna be a lot of echo. You're gonna need to cut that, let it happen, put the next one, let it happen, then the next one, let it happen. You know what I mean? Like,
Shut the fuck up, you audio engineer bitch. We're just gonna make the podcast shitty.
okay. and then just add like reverb to that.
Yeah, we'll do that.
It's like go back to the Shadow Realm.
Well, now we can't cut any of this because it's making me laugh. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. I'm Hookaloo25, a bear, and this is the year that it is now, in the present year. It's not a year in the past when I post this video. It's going to be in the present times.
Yeah.
I'm here with Huckleberry Blue, who you remember from the previous episode from a year ago.
Hi.
I've forgotten how to start these, but
Yeah. No, it's okay. Like you're rolling.
yeah. It's been a while since I've recorded this, and for literally no reason other than I just got busy with other projects and didn't feel like setting up and managing a big like podcast where I have to edit it and also get guests and coordinate times. Last year was just about quietly working on myself, but this year we're doing it big.
Ooh. Yeah, me too. Look. Little tiny water bottle open.
That's really pleasing to the ears. You're clearly taking better care of yourself because I just opened a fucking cotton candy energy drink.
That is horrendous. What is that?
It's actually really good.
Well, I'm glad that you enjoy it.
But I'm gonna be candid with the plan did, just because that's the way that I'm feeling. Blue and I, after last year when we recorded an episode about all the cool things that we were gonna do in that year, and then that year came and went, I want to do an episode where we talk about all the cool things that we actually managed to pull off, both in art and in life and all that jazz. And then we're going to do a different episode so that this episode isn't 3 hours long, where we talk about all the cool shit that we got planned for this year.
Yep.
But before we get into that, I promised in a pre-recording I was going to talk to Blue. I was going to tell him the anecdote about how I stole a shitload of Chipotle when I was in college.
And I'm gonna sneak this in just so that everybody knows exactly the type of game that I'm coming to play with. This was brought on because I asserted the opinion that Chipotle quesadillas are not probably, but I can almost guarantee that those are the best like fast food chain quesadillas that you can get, for sure, like hands down. And if you haven't had one and you disagree with me, go try it. I'm positive that you will be pleasantly surprised. Definitely be prepared for some grease action, but also be prepared for some jam-packed flavor. So anyways, Hookaloo, yeah, tell us about your misadventures of Chipotle.
This episode's sponsored by Chipotle. No, it's not, but I wish it was, and they should.
Chipotle, if in some fucking whacked out universe that this somehow gets to your corporate office, please give me a gold card. Please give me a Chipotle gold card so that I may obtain Chipotle of any time of my choosing. I beg of you, please. It is my life's goal. Thank you.
Is that a real thing?
That is a real thing. That is 100% a real thing. Like, there are DJ friends that know other DJ friends that have Chipotle gold cards because they like talked about them at a show, or like just always tweet about eating Chipotle. And so yeah, Chipotle will just hook you up with a Chipotle gold card, where it's like once a day you can literally just go and get free Chipotle or something. And it's like for the year, like they hit you with it January 1, and then say, hey, your New Year's resolution is no longer going to the gym. It is now hitting Chipotle as many times as you possibly can before the next New Year. And then you may or may not go and lose your Chipotle gold card if you don't. Yeah, it's like a thing. It's like a real thing. You can look this up. I want one so fucking bad. I swear to God, I will. I don't know what I have to do. If I have to animate the fox eating a fuck ton of Chipotle, I'm gonna do it. Just give me that fucking gold card. I am jonesing, please.
Next thing that you animate has got to be You've got to finish it, and then you got to put out an edited version where you just like put it in a video editing software and replace any characters that get eaten with a big Chipotle burrito.
Yeah, exactly. No, just fucking.
Like,
just you imagine just like literally like fucking like Photoshop like CGIing like in like burritos, like just like real like 3D like renders of Chipotle burritos running around.
That happened with that cartoon that they tried to do like in 2015, that Gen Z cartoon that got all that backlash. It was
what?
It was an attempted cartoon. I think it was on Kickstarter, or maybe it was just a pilot that got made that was supposed to deal with like, it was going to be a cartoon for like Generation Z, and it was called Gen Z, and it looked fine. People hated on it because there was a character that was trans and the animation was not the best. But after they got some backlash, they did a really hilarious joke where they put out a version of the trailer or the first episode maybe, where they edited out all of the dialogue and they replaced it with dialogue about Doritos.
What? What? Like, there's just so much that was thrown at me. I have never heard of this at all. Like, this has been completely off. Whatever the fuck you're talking about has been completely off my fucking radar. And it blows my mind because normally I have my ear to the ground with shit like this. What channel was trying to put it out?
I have no idea, but I'm gonna send you the little promo art right now, and maybe this will jog some bells. It's like a 100 by 50 image.
Yeah, I was gonna say, please tell me why this fucking promo poster that you sent is for ants.
It's from IMDb.
What the hell?
But yeah, it basically just got harassed to shit because people didn't like it. It was not good or cool, but I did laugh when they took the piss and they rolled with it, and they're like, fine, you don't want a show that deals with real issues? Well, how about a Doritos commercial? And basically, we have to start doing that with fetish material in honor of Gen Z. I'm very sorry that your post got your post got screwed up. I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's okay.
But I when I was in college, I didn't have any money, and I still don't have much money, but I at least have enough money to pay for food consistently. But I used to have a really late class, and I don't even remember what class it was because it sucked. I didn't like school.
That's fair. I'll get into it later, but yeah.
Yeah, you're doing school right now, which is cool.
I'm doing school right the fuck now, and I wish I wasn't. But anyways, tell me about your like law past.
I calculated that it took like 25 minutes for me to walk from this classroom to the Chipotle when the class ended. And I'm like, you know what? That's enough. I can walk there and then walk home. It's close enough. I'm fine with that. But when I did that the first time, Chipotle's menu used to let you order ahead online, and then you could choose to pay with cash when you showed up, which I did because I didn't want to put my credit card in the class that I was sitting there supposed to be learning, but I was busy making burrito monstrosities. You
coward. I fucking would do that shit all the time. I'd be like, yeah, I'm buying stuff. Fuck you, mind your business.
Well, the last thing that I want is for the teacher to be like, all right, give me your credit card. You can have this back after class, and after I get those funny numbers on the back.
Yeah, I was going to say, teach, you want to fucking, like, class 3 felony? I don't fucking know what the fuck, like, but, you know, like, just, what? So I'd be like, nobody, I'm not giving you my fucking credit card. I'm a goddamn adult. Let me order my Chipotle. What the fuck? Anyways, I'm so sorry. Continue.
No, I would just show up there, and the first time that I did it, it was like insanely busy. There was like a line going outside because it was Chipotle in Ohio, in a college that was 99% white people. So there was a lot of fans of Chipotle.
For sure.
And I just like remember standing in the line for online orders, which was significantly shorter, but like after 15 minutes in the line not moving, they just took a bunch of burritos out and are like, okay, who had this one? Just take it, just go.
Oh my God.
As well as occasionally giving the burritos away, assuming that everyone had already paid online, and also including a free gift card for like one free burrito.
Nice.
So I was technically getting 2 burritos for the price of none.
Oh my God, that is insane. So did that happen once?
That happened several times.
Jesus, fuck.
To the point where I forget what that class was like, but I do remember setting up intentionally larger and larger orders to see how much I could get away with. I was like,
oh my God, you gotta sniff of that poison, and you're like, ooh,
yeah.
But how much can I get? Oh fuck!
There's a grift to be grafted, and boy did I graft.
And boy did you done be grafting. Holy fuck! That is nuts.
I eventually stopped doing it because not only did Chipotle realize that this was a glaring flaw in their system, and they're like, "Hey, you gotta pay for your food before we give it to you."
Oh my God.
But also the people there started recognizing me. They're like, "Hey, aren't you the guy who shows up only at the dinner rush, squeezes yourself into the middle of the line to make it look like you've been waiting longer, and then leaves with an armful of 4 burritos?"
And you're, of course, like, no.
I'm like, no, that's not me. I'm the cool guy who always pays for his food.
Just fucking random, like, it's like a superhero name, like, but really shitty. And there's the guy that always pays for his food, and like,
he's a pillar of society. He's a staple.
He's a pillar of society. Oh my God.
But anyway, go ahead and try
That's
Chipotle's plant-based chorizo. It's pretty good. And this is the official, unofficial Chipotle advertisement to try and get Blue a gold card. And I assume that I'm going to get
card.
I'm going to get some Chipotle branded caltrips put under the back tires of my car for announcing that I've taken like $50 worth of free burrito.
Oh my God. See, that's funny because I also have a Chipotle ordering online story, but it's not as devious as you.
There's a lack of devious licks to be found?
There's a lack of... okay, let me just run this down. So I used to work at the mall. Okay, I used to work at an Adidas store in California. And the thing about working there is that they only really schedule you for like... I forget if it's a max of 6 or 4.5 hours, but they're all like really short shifts, and it's specifically so that they don't have to give you like a legit lunch. Like they reserve like all of the longer shifts for like management and shit.
It's very cool.
So yeah, super cool. Like, you know, honestly, like not getting a lunch was fine because I was only there like for 4.5 to 5 hours max ever. But I would get hungry, so like they would give us a 10. I think they would give us like 2 10s. So on one of like, I think it was like one of my last like 10-minute breaks one day, I was like, "Hey, can I go to the bathroom?" Like right before I took it, and they're like, "Yeah, sure, go ahead." And so fucking I go, and like in the bathroom, I would like put in an online Chipotle order, like, "Hey, hit me with that fucking nasty. I'm gonna be there in 5," and then I would come back and I'd be like, "Okay, I'm gonna go take my 10 now, actually." Like, and they're like, "Okay, for sure, go ahead." And so I would walk to the Chipotle in the food court, grab my burrito because now it's hot, fresh, and ready. And on my way back, I would start eating the burrito. And because I would only have 10 minutes. I shit you not, it was only enough time for me to walk to the Chipotle, start eating it, and then literally as I'm like walking back into the store to clock in, I'm like shoving this fucking burrito down my face and then just like clocking back in and being like, "Oh, let's go," like just going back out on the sales floor. That was all I had time for, and I thought nothing of it. I was just hungry. I was like, "Fuck it, I got enough time to eat this fucking burrito." And so fucking, then it started to get around that I was doing this, and like it didn't occur to me that I had become a legend amongst the store until like I walked in like with half of a burrito, and one of the people that worked at the store was like, "Oh, see, I told you, look, see, he's coming back with his burrito. Watch, that shit's gonna be gone in like 30 seconds. Watch him, fucking watch him." And like, so like now there's like fucking 3 to 4 other employees that are following me to the back, and I'm like, "No, get out of the way, I'm trying to fucking clock in." And they're like, "Dude, you're fucking nuts. What the hell are you doing?" And like they're like, and so like as I'm like shoving the rest of the burrito like into my mouth, they're like, "Yo, what the fuck?" Like just like they're like, "You ate that shit in like 5 minutes." seconds, and I'm like, and like, dude, like you're a beast, and I'm like, just fucking insane. And that was just a thing. Like, it was the best fucking day ever. just I will never forget. I felt like some kind of fucking like rare animal getting seen like via the fucking like Disney Serengeti tour from a fucking truck where they're, look at him, watch him eat that fucking burrito. Look, no, just watch him, fucking watch him. Go look at him. And I'm like, don't look at me, don't perceive me. I'm trying to mind your business. I'm trying to eat my goddamn Chipotle.
That has the same exact energy as that meme of like the dude who laid down on the ground and his friends all freaked out. They're like, oh my god, Travis laid down on the ground. He's a fucking massive legend.
Oh my god, yeah. He's a massive legend. Oh my god. But yeah, so now that we have exchanged
Chipotle stories for
complimentary
15
Chipotle
minutes.
stories, let's talk about some shit, dude.
Yeah.
Like, let's talk about this year. Let's talk about what we talked about before and how that contrasts to now, because I'm sure that there's a lot.
Let's feed off of your Chipotle story about feeding off of Chipotle and talk about you, because it seems like a natural next step after you revealing that you secretly eat like a fetish comic character in real life. You throw your head back like a bird and just horf that whole burrito down in 20 seconds.
Oh my god, dude. It's just, yeah.
You look like Patrick with that whole Krabby Patty in his mouth.
Can you eat a Krabby Double Deluxe in one bite?
Can you eat a double stuffed Chipotle burrito in one break?
Just one break. Oh my god. But yeah, ask away by all means. Because I'm very curious as to what you're in the dark about. Because I've kind of been off the grid a bit.
I did a shitload last year.
You did. You fucking did. You're kind of an animal. Like,
yeah. It was. But I don't want to talk about just my achievements. Instead, I want to ask you. I've already got the little dealies floating around in my vision from laughing too hard at your Chipotle. But no,
oh my god,
your animation stuff. I think I caught a couple streams that you did just over the course of the year.
Yeah.
How's progress on that been? How has that project changed since last we discussed it? Because I think it's significantly different, if I recall.
It is fucking different, dude. Oh my god. I gave the podcast a listen. The last one that we did. And hearing, okay, one thing. So I don't really need to worry about that podcast misleading people too much, because like the part where I was talking about that was what ended up getting cut when my audio went fucky.
I loved when you.
I shit you not. Like, you had me, which is hilarious, because you had me on that podcast to talk about that fucking animation, and I find it insanely ironic that the part where I talk about the upcoming animation is where that shit cuts, and you give the little sample of me going and then just like, and then I come back in and it's literally me telling the very end of the story idea. And I was like, and then he's like, and then they all kissed, and then then that's where it like continues. But yeah, no. So essentially, what I spoke about, just to kind of like recap it, because it wasn't talked about. The original idea was to turn like a Hungry Fox 4 into like Chubby Bunny 1 by essentially like basically like taking another one of my OCs, Chip, and throwing him into the universe of Hungry Fox, and then essentially having him lead his bunny friends back to the fox to get eaten, all for it to end in the fox getting eaten by Chip the bunny, and like to basically start like a new thing. I ended up not going with that because I ended up coming up with a better idea, essentially. And the way that came about was not long after we had recorded that podcast, maybe like a month and a half after. There was this dude that wanted to commission me, and he was a really cool dude. He was like, yo, I literally want you to make me something akin to like your Hungry Fox videos. Like, just let me like put in the characters that I want, and then like you just like go nuts and do your thing. and I will finance the whole thing. And I was like, holy fuck, this is nuts.
Jesus.
And yeah, it was like, it was like crazy daunting, because he was like, yeah, like I am like literally asking for like a 2-minute minimum animation. And he's like, I am very prepared to pay for it. And I'm like, holy fuck, you're nuts. The only caveat was that he kind of had a baseline idea, but he was like, I want it to be like as malleable as possible. Like, if you want to come up with some other stuff, please, like, I am encouraging that. Like, I am not like a good idea person. Like, I have like the base idea of like what I want, just, and like essentially he wanted one of the character, he wanted some like Paper Mario character from like one of the newer games. And I like got really uncomfortable because like at first, because I like really couldn't confirm like her canon age. So I was like, hey buddy, can we not? And then they were like, yeah, no, sure. Like, who else would you want to do? Like, would you be comfortable doing Vivian from Thousand Year Door? And I'm like, yeah, I can do that for sure. Like, let me try coming up with some stuff. And so I tried drawing Vivian a couple times, trying to like kind of get in the motions of it. And then meanwhile, while I was doing that, I kind of took his idea and was like, okay, like, what if, Vivian was like at a pizza parlor, and then the toads were like essentially like feeding her pizza, but then she starts eating the toads.
Okay.
And he was like, oh shit, that's fucking awesome. Yeah, I'd love to go with that. And then I just kind of started going off. And he was talking about how he was like, yeah, like I want like as many toads as you're comfortable animating. It's like, if we can do like, like 7, let's do it. If we could do like 8, I'll go like, fuck yeah, dude. Let's like, I want her eating 8 toads. Like, this is going to be great. And I'm like, I'm all for it. Like, I'm like, hell yeah. Like, I've been wanting to push my, I've been wanting to push into like the vast numbers of like multi-prey with like animation for like a while, and this was like a good like way to do it.
I thought you were gonna say 70 for a second.
Yeah, 70. I want her eating 70 toads. I'm like, la, 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 and fucking no.
The cacophonous voice acting would be hellish.
Yeah, just like that 70 times, up the reverb, muffle it, like just. No, but so like I kept kind of coming up with these ideas, and there's like a couple story beats that like we were kind of coming up with together. And then like I can't remember exactly what happened, but it was just like it kind of got to this point where like I just wasn't like super comfortable with it. I wasn't drawing Vivian very well. I had like no practice drawing this character. The toads were easy enough, but like I didn't really want to draw toads. I wasn't really feeling the characters. And like there were so many times during the process where I was like, fuck, I literally just wish I was doing like my fox eating bunnies. And so it was probably like maybe like a week later that I ended up like calling off the commission and like being like, hey buddy, like, I really, really appreciate you doing this. It's just, it's not going to happen. Because I remember, because I was like, yeah, like, I think the last straw for me was essentially, I asked him, I was like, hey dude, like, I'm kind of really struggling to draw Vivian, which is so dumb. It just shows my, like, my weaknesses as an artist. I just can't draw like characters that I'm just not comfortable drawing, like not for non-furry characters that I can make cute. And so I was like, hey, do you have any furry characters that you'd be interested in slotting into the Vivian slot at all? And he was like, no, basically the reason, like, like part of the reason why I'm having you, like I'm commissioning you to do this is because it's like, I like your animations, like I like your fox animations, but I'd like them better if they weren't furry. And I was like, yeah. Oh, okay. Which is like, okay, that's fair. You're entitled to your opinions. I am like at first I was kind of miffed about it, but it's like, you know what, dude, do you? I get it. You like what you like, and you like my stuff for what it is. I can't really like fault that. I'm going to kind of sift through and find the compliment there. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to take offense to it, but at the same time, I've gotten comments like that, and they do sting a little bit, but it's like, whatever. Like, it is what it is, But at that point, I was like, hey, man, if that's the case, I feel you, but like, I'm not I'm not trying to like I'm not trying to do Vivian or Toads. I'm just gonna work on this on my own. And oh man, I am so glad I did. And we'll get into why as we talk about the process that this animation has been. Because like I basically took that idea of like, you know, predator in an eating establishment eating like several prey, and basically just kind of bumped it up to 11. So like I took that and I was like, okay, like instead of like 7 or 8, I'm gonna bump it up to 10. I want to do 10 bunnies, and I'm gonna put the fox in the driver's seat. And I'm like hell yeah, I'm about this. Let's go. And instead of like a pizza parlor, I had it be like a buffet, right? So that was like another big change that I made from that idea. And initially the bunnies were going to be workers at the buffet. Like the initial idea was like instead of like them like feeding the fox, like the fox being a customer, it was like, oh, the fox comes like after they close and they're like cleaning up, and like, oh, like part of their cleanup crew regimen is that they have to eat the leftover food. And I'm like I that was like the initial thought, and then I was like, that's kind of stupid. Like I don't like that. And so essentially I took them out of the customer role and turned them into like a gang of burglars that raid food establishments. And so now they're burglarizing this buffet, and now they've broken in and they're really fatty, and there's no one else, like there's no customers, there's no anything, there's no employees in the buffet. It's literally just this gang of bunnies that have like busted in and have now gorged themselves silly. And now like then I was like, okay, and then the fox shows up and goes to town, essentially. Like that was like the idea. Like that was the aha moment. I was like, okay, cool, I have my setting, I have my cast. Now I just have to go and like figure out like the story beats and like the rest of this, and like how this is gonna connect to the rest of the Hungry Fox lore, or whatever.
Cinematic canon.
The cinematic universe, yeah. And so that is kind of what. Sorry, there's like more I can touch on. There's more details that I can go in on, but like that is like the basic gist of like how it went from the initial idea that I talked about last time to like where it is now, essentially. Yeah.
All right, that's interesting. I'm always curious to see like how ideas like that sort of manifest and change over time, because Lord knows we've all been in those situations as creative types where like you start a project and then it changes over time it metamorphosizes into something that maybe you don't even recognize from the original idea.
Exactly.
But that's super duper cool. I've seen some of the progress there, and I think that it's the improvements that you've brought to your style have already been made apparent even in the brief glimpses of streams that I've caught.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Holy shit. Like it's always a good feeling to like look back at like my older frames and be like, huh, I draw better than that now. That's cool.
Yeah. It's one of the best feelings as an artist is when you look back at your old stuff and you're like, God, I was shit. Why did I even continue? I'm so awesome now.
God, I was shit.
Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm harsh on myself.
Oh no, I am like, okay, it's that's another thing that's kind of been kind of like odd with this process, is that like I've done a lot of like growth with like as like an artist, and like also kind of discovered like what like art means to me. I guess like it's kind of weird. Like I guess what I'm trying to say is like I could be harder on myself than I am, if that makes sense. Like I have other art friends, and they are so insanely harsh on themselves, and I get it. And I get that too. Like there are some times where like I get sad because I'm like, ooh, I want to draw that thing, or I want to draw this pose, and I like just can't. And I get, sad, of course. But this isn't like a thing where like, if I don't do this, then who am I? Type of scenario. Like I think that that's afforded to me because I've had such an extensive run with music and with college and with all of these other mediums. Like it brings a sense of clarity to art that I don't think a lot of people can have even begun to glean, in a way where it's like, you know, I'll have like conversations with this one friend, and like we've had issues where it's like, oh, like, you know, like how did your thing blow up, essentially, when, you know, I'm struggling to even get this much. And I'm like, I don't know why, but all I know is that like this to me isn't a place to be like, oh, like I need to prove myself. This is essentially my escape. Like I've faced so much like criticism and, you know, hardships and strife with music and with college and with trying to kind of stand on my own 2 feet as an adult in this world, in this time, that when I think about making art and when I think about animating, the last thing on my mind is the numbers. The last thing on my mind is the followers. The last thing on my mind is the money to be made. Like, essentially, my goal is and has always been just make something that I can enjoy myself. Make something that would have given me butterflies like when I was first discovering this. You know what I mean? Like, those are my goals. My goals are not the numbers. And I know that that's difficult when this is kind of your one gear. Like, this is what you're grinding. Oh, yeah. But I think it's because I have, you know, these like other horizons that I've seen and I've reached and I've like gone for, that I look at vor art and I'm like, well, this is just a place to have fun. This is my escape. This is what I do to relax. This is what I do to kind of connect with this side of me that I have to hide all the fucking time. And I think it's because of that context that it just makes all of those negative, like, self-depreciative feelings about my art go away. Because at the end of the day, it's like, if I never succeed as an animator, like if I never make another dollar again, if nobody else ever follows or likes what I do, that's okay. Because at the end of the day, those are not my goals. My goals are very much internal. Like, I appreciate the praise. I appreciate all the people that are like watching me and like wanting me to succeed and like, you know, cheering on my work. But like, I don't make this shit for you. I make this shit for me. And I think that that's important. Ultimately,
it's important, and it's especially difficult to understand. I'm gonna sort of springboard off of that into, I had a similar
realization, or had to come to a similar realization, but like even less about metrics and about numbers. And I want to give a shout out. This is something that helped me personally and is definitely worth checking out. There is a musical artist that has been sort of people who are close to me have heard me ramble about this ad infinitum, but I keep rediscovering her work accidentally.
Oh like my God.
Because I don't have Spotify Pro, and I'm not smart enough or good enough at learning music to like pay attention to mainstream artists. So I use SoundCloud, and I just find other outcasts and weirdos like me who like making music that they like.
Yeah, exactly.
And I bet if she ever listens to this, which please don't listen to it. But if she does, Jamie Page is the artist's name, and she.
I think I remember you talking about her. Yeah.
Yeah, she took like a 4-year hiatus after her previous album, Autumn Every Day, where she would just occasionally post like one thing or a couple things, like just a single or a little EP. Which, tell me after the show what EP stands for, because I'm too scared to look it up or admit to anyone, especially a podcast with dozens, maybe even 5 listeners, that I don't know what it means.
It's an extended play.
Oh, okay. That's stupid.
Yeah.
But she just completely vanished until like one point last year, early in the year, when some other artist uploaded a song that Jamie had made about a dream that she had where a girl asked her to go to Walmart to buy some Walmart stuff. And I was like, whoa, Jamie Page is still around and is still making things. And that fucking Walmart song was my second most listened to song that year.
Oh my God, yeah, abso-fucking-lutely.
But then towards, I should probably check the exact date, but she came out with an album called Bittersweet that sort of deals with a lot, and it covers a lot of ground, but mostly it's a sort of an anthem about rediscovering the passions that one has for creating art. Specifically that burnout of like trying and thinking you have to constantly be productive and be perceived and always striving for greater heights until the point where you just run yourself ragged.
Yep. Exactly.
And that happened to me in October, or rather specifically at the end of October. For the uninitiated, during every year for like the past 4 years, I've done the Vortober thing where you draw a new thing every single day. And I had this grand plan that I hatched more or less at the end of September when I had some family visiting, so I had very, very limited free time. But I was like, I want to make a little game, just a little like top-down little game that would be fun and silly, and people could enjoy it, and it would help expand my programming skills, and it would help get me into an art mood. And no one's going to see it coming because I'm going to continue to upload daily drawings doing the challenge properly. And so I got a little bit of a head start on the challenge, which is not how it's supposed to be done, but I was working on a little game project the whole time. And specifically, I commissioned some friends and did some art trades with some people in order to supplement that experience. And I even bought a big adoptable, and I had so many huge, massive plans for what I was going to do from it from Monster Grotto on Twitter, who was easily one of my favorite artists. But after I had finished it, after I'd finished all of this, I watched myself. I caught myself. I was pretty much exclusively working on this all the time. And the times when I wasn't working on it, I was actually working and going to work. And I would like bring a separate laptop to the office so that I could code on my lunch breaks or any time anyone wasn't working. And the stress got to me so much that I just like, I began finding solace only in those metrics that I could produce. It was, and I got very, very little because my content wasn't engaging. Because if you just focus on pumping out as much shit as possible, it's going to not look as good as something that you take your time on and something that you feel genuinely passionate about. And that's the point of challenges like draw this every day. It's not to make a new masterpiece every time. It's like an endurance thing. It's to get yourself in an appropriate mind space. But I have been in that mind space for like 2 years. I basically draw every single day, even if I don't post it or don't finish it, but I usually do. And at the end of it, I was like, it's going to be fine. It doesn't matter that nobody cares about these characters that I thought were fun. It doesn't matter that the most popular stuff that I'm posting is the things that I've commissioned people to do. It doesn't matter that some of the commissions that I've gotten have turned out a little bit lackluster. That's fine. It's all going to be fine once I finish this game and everyone plays it and everybody loves it and everyone's going to love me and it's all going to be worth it. And I post the game and people did play it and enjoy it for what it was. It was very small scale, and I remember I don't think I slept for the last 2 days of October just getting it ready.
Nice.
And just at the end of it, I posted it to a resounding meh, and I was like completely shattered. And it wasn't that like I didn't get a public appreciation. It was specifically that my friends didn't care. And saying that is a little bit harsh. Like, obviously they care, but, you know.
Yeah. But it's like, it's never gonna, like, because when you stoke that flame in your head, and you're like, oh, fuck, I've worked this hard on this needs to bang. Like, you're like, it's fucking poison. You're like, there's never going to be a reaction that your friends can give you that is going to be enough, like straight up, you know. And it's like, and again, like it's like it's insane. Like I'm working on this thing right now, and I've like literally been working on this shit since fucking July. Like I scrapped an old project and like essentially like restarted like in July. After like I was like, okay, I have the idea written down. I know what I want to do. I know at least how I want to start it. Let's fucking go. And then that's when I started, like, literally, like, July 1st is, like, I was like, okay, I'm putting fucking pen to paper on this. And it's, like, like literally this past weekend, like just trying to fit working on this around my school schedule, I am now on the last scene. Like I've put in more hours into this fucking animation than I have like probably anything else that I've ever worked on in my fucking life. And like I have to divorce that hard work from the fact that like, oh, I really hope my friends like this. I really hope this like gets the fucking reactions that I want it to. Because if I go in with any sort of expectation whatsoever, aside from just a resounding meh, or just my own satisfaction, then I've already lost. Because no matter what happens, there's always going to be some underlying disappointment. There's always going to be some fucking milestone hit, and then it fucking happens all the time where you hit that milestone and then you move the goalposts for yourself, and then you're like, ooh, I got so many likes, but what if I got this many now? Because I hit this so much faster. And then you keep doing that as it keeps hitting those goalposts instead of enjoying the goalposts that it hit. And now whatever goalpost you moved it to, it's like, oh, I wasn't able to hit that. And so it's like I have friends who are like, oh, it didn't hit 5,000 likes or something on Twitter, like, or like I am not able to keep up with these artists that are this young, or these artists that have been doing it for this long, or the artists that are at my level, or I feel that are at my level, and it's like just so much comparison, so much expectation, and it just sucks the damn soul out of you. Where it doesn't matter what your shit does at that point, because you have this completely manufactured idea of how your stuff should be doing versus the reality that, hey, sometimes the algorithm do be shitty though, and you just kind of have to fucking wait on it, and then it'll kind of pick up steam a few months later, or just take solace in the fact that people did enjoy it.
Oh yeah. The thing that was the kicker of all of this is I probably could have put more effort into that game project if it were not for the fact that I got approached by somebody relatively midway through. I got approached by a couple people, and they're like, "Hey, are you open for animation commissions right now?" And I'm like, I'm riding high. I'm huffing the fumes of like incredible productivity and all these big plans in my head, and I'm like, sure, I could take on a little extra work. I'm ahead of schedule. And I wound up doing what was at the time my biggest animation yet for the 30th day of October. And go check that one out. I still think that's genuinely good. I played with like different camera angles. I played with different scenes and shots. I think it came out really, really good for being something I made in 4 days.
Which one was that one again?
The Zoroark one with the Pokeballs.
Yes, that one is fucking dope. I endorse that one. I mean, I endorse everything you do, but that one especially was super fucking good.
I am very pleased with how it came out, especially for the time frame. But like that should have been a key to me, that I was like, I was fucking banging my head against the wall with programming for 2 entire days, just trying to get these little systems working. This patchwork framework that I had built off of different tutorials that didn't coincide with one another. And I think that the art that I made for that Halloween game is dope. I think that I really learned a lot about pixel stuff, and it was incredibly fun to work on and sort of play with. I do not regret doing it, but like I still remember being like, if I'm not enjoying art right now, and my friends don't even bother to like play it, then all I have are the strangers on the internet who appreciate my stuff. And that's fine. Like, having an audience is something that is good, and I appreciate everyone who's ever liked, shared, even commented, just looked at my stuff in general.
Yeah.
It's genuinely insane to me that that is even a thing that can happen. But
yep.
You sit there and you look at all the effort that you've poured into something, and in the moment, it is impossible to think about the gains that you've made, the strives. It's just... It's not even that it didn't perform well. I was heartbroken that nobody cared enough to even look at it.
Okay.
And that's going to be harsh, especially like if you're listening to this and you're like, "Oh my god, is he talking about me?" I'm not talking about anyone. I had this mixed expectation in my head that people would still give a shit about me posting when I'd been posting for 31 days straight. There's no novelty in it. The passion was all gone, and people had already seen what I had to offer. And so I stopped myself. I took a step back. I took some time, and just kind of like wallowed in sadness for a bit. until I was able to sort of pull myself back up on my feet and be like, okay, if I'm not making this for my friends and making it for myself is only stressful, and I've gotten to the point where my audience is, I have learned the lesson that likes and clicks on Twitter is not a substitute for personal fulfillment, then what am I doing this for? And I don't think I have an answer. I just know that I like to draw and I like to make things. And I like to make new things. I like to learn new things. And one of the things that I want to do this year is I want to make a game where I don't have to program anything. Because I don't think I like programming.
Yeah, that's fair.
I like learning about it and getting better, but like I don't want to... I want to make a safe for work game that I could just like sell on itch.io just for fun. I got a fun little idea, but I'm not going to talk about that here. I got some friends who can help me with the programming side of things.
Hell yeah.
But the last year I did 3 games, 2 small scale, well, 1 smaller scale, and then I spent 3 months working on the desktop poly, 4 months working on desktop poly, and that was a mistake. I think, God, I don't even know how many commission slots I took. It was a genuinely insane number, and that came with its own emotional turmoil that I'm still not sure how to process, and I'm going to talk about it in the very, very loosest of terms, not naming any names, not naming anyone in specific, because I think this is something that online artists in particular don't need to be aware of because it happens rarely, but like I have been crippled with guilt over it. Is one of the people who bought a commission slot for desktop poly passed away. Okay. For the folks who know, I did not know this individual well, but they were incredibly kind to me. They were incredibly supportive, and I feel like there is a considerable loss there. And the last thing that I remember happening is when I was getting ready to post this game, I had finished their part. I had sent them a few messages being like, hey, if you approve this, we can get this put in, yada yada, all that good stuff. And then I got a message from one of their friends being like, have you seen this person around? We haven't been able to talk to them in weeks. And my heart just sank. Oh my God. And I had to grapple with the idea of, is it more or less respectful to include this person's persona in fetish porn post-mortem? Despite the fact that they paid for it and approved it, is this something I should do? And in the end, I decided no.
Oh, dude.
And I'm bringing...
Incredibly rough.
I still don't know if that was the right choice or not. Because I think to myself, like, if I died tomorrow with a big project that I was excited for and wanted to be involved in, waiting in the wings, would I still want that small space of legacy involved? Like, is as silly and, like, sort of out of left field as that is to consider.
Yeah. Oh, shit. I think, like, in a weird way, that's kind of not your call to make, and I think you did the right thing.
Yeah.
Or rather, maybe the right thing's not the right way to put it, but more so like the safest thing.
Yeah.
Because it's like to not include, like, I mean, it's, the work is done, the work is there. If there's like, you know, like if anybody asks, or if like some, like, you know, friend reaches out or something, like, I don't know, like maybe you can give them like a download to a version of the game with that character in it or something, if it came to that. Yeah. But yeah, I think just kind of not including them in this thing, it's kind of like the neutral response, right? It's not like, you know, like, I don't think either choice is particularly disrespectful, but it is kind of the one where it's like, okay, like, I don't really know how to parse this, so we're just gonna do this. Like, yeah. Oh man, that is heavy. I am so sorry.
It's okay, but that was like one of those compounding things. Last year, I had to confront a lot of personal thoughts about not just like, is my art good? Is my art this or that? But like, am I equipped mentally, emotionally to deal with the potential of this happening again? What do I do if it happens to me?
Yep, exactly. No, I fucking super feel that. I'm like, oh my God, God forbid I die tomorrow and then my family comes and collects my things and starts logging into my accounts, and then they start seeing this like literally like completely other life that I have just been living the entire time. Like, I think I said it on an earlier podcast. Like, my family has no idea that I draw, has no idea that I animate. Like, they are completely in the dark about a whole half of my life that is growing more and more influential as to who I am as a person by the day. Like, I remember, like, maybe, like, 5 years ago, I had a cold, hard, fast rule: do not interact with anybody on this account. And I wouldn't. I would like things, I would reblog, we're talking about Tumblr days here, I would, like, do all that shit, but I would not interact with anybody. And then, slowly but surely, people started to pick through the cracks because they were like, hey, we want to get to know the behind the blue character. And namely Ruby was like Ruby and Starry or Volin were like the two people that really like broke down my walls on this account. Because I remember meeting Ruby, and then Ruby introduced me to you, and then those were like kind of like, you know, that was like one side, that was one friend group that I would hang out with. And then Starry introduced me to Flip, which was another one of our friends. And so like those were like the two friend groups that I would have and like speak with on this account, but it was like exclusively you guys. And then from there, it's kind of turned into this whole thing, and it kind of exploded out of me moving out to go to college here. And I was able to kind of like for some reason the stars just aligned where it was like, okay, cool, now I'm in a space where I can actually like be on this account on my main computer, you know, create things, put them out, talk to people, meet new people, run Discords, create content. Like all this shit just started happening. And now it's gotten to this point where like I would call my music account like my main account, and this like my side account. It's gotten to the point where like that's just another alt for me that I like never touch. Like I have literally just completely like, not completely abandoned, but like I've not been on Twitter. Like the oh my god, like for example, like the Discord account situation, like the I just got hacked a few weeks ago, and like this account, the hacker that got access to my account did fuck tons of damage. Like he maybe messaged like over 100 people via my account, and like 10 plus people at this point that I'm aware of got their account compromised via my account. But on my quote unquote main, he maybe like messaged 30 people, and like maybe like 4 of them replied, and like nobody got their account compromised on that account because I just don't fucking talk to people on that account. I have like my set IRL friends with my, you know, my brother on that account, and those are like my ride or die. Like I will always like go to that account for them. But by and large, like all of my friends, my entire life is on here. I am essentially blue entirely now. Like there is no second life like to the sister fucking shit anymore, you know? Like just
Yeah.
Like so like I don't know, fucking oh god, I can't, I'm so sorry. I like just tangent the hell. I forgot the original point, but like basically like what help me out. What was I talking about? Like I'm fucking having a geriatric moment here.
I'll be real. I completely lost it when you did the sister thing. It's like my brain hard reset.
I did too. I knew I shouldn't have done that. That was like what completely derailed me. I was trying to think of like a fucking like, you know, for me. Oh my fucking god! I just remembered.
Okay.
I just remembered. It was we were talking about if I died tomorrow, like in my fucking family. Fuck.
All right, we're still cutting that part out, but go ahead, continue the
Yeah,
thought.
shit. Yeah, so if I died tomorrow and my entire family just decides to like go into my shit and find out that I lived this whole second life and I drew and I had this Patreon, I had this all this shit, and it's like, oh my god, what would they think of me? What the fuck? Like would they like, I guess, mourn the fact that like I wasn't comfortable enough with them to share this incredibly important part of my life? Or would they look at the shit that I was making and go, oh no, we get it, you know? Like what the hell? Like fucking, it's such a scary thought to like think about your mortality in the realm of what you do and create on the internet. You never think about it. But yeah, no, I don't know if it's the same person, but there was also a person that I knew who had passed away, and I was literally just talking with them. I was like just like kind of reconnecting after this like time, and they were always so sweet. They were super nice. We enjoyed each other's OCs. Like we were like, hey, real recognizes real. You got cute shit. And then like all of a sudden like I go to message them one day and they don't reply, and I'm like whatever. And then like lo and behold, like all over Twitter for like a week, they're like, oh my gosh, this person just passed away. And I was like, what the hell? What the fuck? And it's like, and it's the worst feeling in the world, where I'm like, oh my God, what? Wow. Like it makes your own mortality that much more real. And I think that was also a big part for everybody last year. Like that is not the only person that I've lost to COVID. You know what I mean? Like that is like not the last, you know, but it's like, dude, it's heavy as shit. And it's like, how do you parse that? Like as a creator online, what is there, does there need to be a clause in your commission sheet now where it's like, if you were to pass away, like, do you give me permission to still post your art? Like, is there like post-mortem? Like, that's just gonna need to be a thing as our generation moves into this era where it's like, that's going to become normal. And that's a scary ass thought. So it's like, I don't know. I think like, anyways, closing it out, it's like, yeah, I think you did make the best decision that you could have, that any of us could have if we were in your position. Like I genuinely don't see a problem with just like omitting them from the game, because it's like, yeah, like out of respect, like you're not like putting, you know, their likeness in something like where people might not know, or, you know, for people to download and then go do whatever with. It's like, you know, it just, yeah, you know, take a seat here. Like you don't need to do that. I don't know, but it's a tough call. I'm not saying that's like the right or the wrong. It's just, that's a tough call.
Yeah, it's. I didn't intend to talk about this, but it did happen last year, and it was something that I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
On a sort of lighter note, one thing that I learned from that experience is that this actually coincides with a thing that happened outside of my my art life, but my actual professional career. We started doing this, like, it was basically horoscopes for executives, specifically Christian executives.
Oh shit. Okay.
And I don't mean to say that if you like this thing, or if you like horoscopes, I'm not here to shit on you. You do you. I'm not here to yuck anybody's yums. But it was like this. I won't even say the name of it. Or I will. I'll say the name. It's the Enneagram system of like personality stuff.
Is it the one with the like 4 funny letters on the back or something?
That's the Myers-Briggs, and like there are people who make that their whole personality, and they're obnoxious. And I have not considered the Enneagram thing to be a particularly like game-changing, like, wow, I know so much about myself now. But I was forced to do this corporate training thing with it, and it revealed like there are 9 numbers of personality types, and my number was number 3.
Wait. I took this shit too. I'm also number 3.
Fuck yeah.
Did you do the thing where like you listen to the song and it's supposed to be able to make you cry?
No. I want to though. I love
my god, shit! That shit worked super hard, like on me, and it was weird.
If you remember that song, send it to me.
Oh my god, yeah. So it's like where like they give you like a personality test, and then you get like a number like 1 through 9, right, or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking dude, holy shit. Oh my god, I'm gonna go find that. Holy shit, that's fucking weird. We did that shit. Oh my god.
It's completely insane.
Okay. That's insane. Okay, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
They talked about like each number has they like take things in with one aspect and then put out with another. Like you could take things in with You could feel things. That's how you perceive the world, is through feelings, and then you put out through actions. Which sounds obvious, like that's what everyone does, but for folks who are familiar with this, there's a specific meaning to that. And number 3 for me was the unique case where it was like, you take things in with feelings, but you do not process those feelings. You process those feelings through specifically doing things and being active. You're very concerned with image. You're very concerned with, like, shame. You don't want to feel shame. And I was aware of all this. Nothing was new to me. I was like, yep, this just sounds like me. But specifically, they highlighted, like, your stress response is to double down and work harder. And I have caught myself over the past year doing that constantly. And I think Desktop Poly, that project, was the premier example, because I don't even know how many slots. I think it was 30 slots for your character here stuff. And I spent 3 months doing nothing but animating little sprites to put in this little game project. And the game programming wise, it runs on spaghetti code. It's drag and drop shit, and it still breaks constantly.
Oof.
It was my first ever finished project, and it's obvious that I don't know anything, but the art was good and people really enjoyed it, and I had a lot of fun working with it. But at the end of that, I was like, I have made more money on this than I think I did the entire last year, and none of it was worth it. It was just so much work. Like, the price point was high. I thought I was overcharging for what I was offering, but then, like, I got to the end and I'm like, I should have made these $1,000 a slot, so no motherfuckers would have taken them, and I could have just put out the project with nothing in it and then stopped and died.
Then just stopped and died.
Yeah, but like at the end of it, I was like, man, that sucks. I never want to do that again. And then immediately I started working on another project, and I'm like, okay, and then I can open up for 100 slots for this one.
Dude,
I just it was interesting to see that metered out in this completely unrelated corporate seminar thing. The lady who taught that was a bitch, and if she hears that, if she listens to this podcast, I don't care that she knows that she's a bitch. I think you're a bitch, and she hates me.
Oh my god.
She disagreed with my number choice. She's like, I don't know, you don't seem like the outgoing, image-concerned, very driven and motivated 3. You seem like the incredibly reserved, uncomfortable, analytical 5. I'm like, yeah,
Jesus.
The thing that a 5 would do is start a podcast, then get bored of it, make video games for a year, and then come back to it with an old edited episode. Somebody who's really introverted is definitely the sort of person who would willingly host a podcast show where they interview strangers.
Oh my god. Well, but see, that's kind of going back to dude, exactly what I was saying earlier. Like, where my mom would be like, oh my god, you're such a lazy piece of shit. And I'm like, yeah. And I just fucking straight believed that for, like, ever. You know, where, like, just... But it's like, the only thing that she's seeing me do at all is, like, fucking... She's viewing me through the lens of the scholastic fucking academic, like... environment, right?
through the lens of the Scholastic Book Fair.
Yeah, through the lens of the Scholastic, right on the mat of school bus fair. You know, like, fucking, like, of course I'm gonna look like a lazy piece of shit. I don't care about any of this, and goddamn right I didn't. None of that mattered. I'm now in college, and none of it still matters. Like, I'm doing busy work just to get out, and, like, going to Zoom University, like, I'm going to one of the top 30 fucking universities in the goddamned nation, and they still can't figure out what to do with the students over Zoom. And, like, so many kids are struggling. I'm struggling. It's a fucking nightmare. I've had one quarter where I've gotten to be in a classroom and actually feel like an enriched member of society. But every other quarter that I've had here has just been, oh, let's fucking put you in front of your computer and just fucking hope to God that you don't cheat or learn something. And then you fucking spit you out. But then, like... So, again, through that lens, of course I look like a lazy piece of shit. I don't want to do this. But then, like, on the flip side of that coin, it's like I was doing the music thing, the merch thing, the fucking animation thing, the art thing, the fucking, like, traveling thing, the convention thing, the running the Discords thing. Like, just all of these things to make my own ends meet and to fulfill my own nature. And then, yeah, of course I'm not going to want to go back and do school shit when I'm finally, like, exploring these interests that I have. But nope. In the realms of, like, my mom or my parents, it's like it doesn't fucking matter because it's not going to get me hired anywhere at some corporate America job. And the same thing for you, where it's like you have this fucking Debbie Downer at your fucking work who only knows you through the lens of your work. And of course you're not, like, I don't know what kind of an employee you are, and I don't mean any offense to this at all, but if I could care to guess, I would say that, yeah, you probably are a little aloof. You probably just kind of put in your hours, then go the fuck home, or you just don't talk to anybody you don't need to talk to. And then and then Stacy's like, oh, well, what an unsatisfactory human being for the corporate environment. And then fucking you go home and you work your ass off on something else that she is never gonna know or see. So of course she thinks you're a fucking, like, wet doormat pilk of a 5 when you're rocking the big when you're rocking the big dick energy of a 3 back home. Fuck that bitch.
Specifically, the people who I actually work with are familiar. I have been told that I am an incredible asset to the company's, like, culture, because I will go and, like, talk to people and brighten days with smiles and be silly and goofy. One of the things that I did after lockdown started coming down is I changed up my whole wardrobe, and now I exclusively wear, like, button-down shirts with silly, crazy patterns on them.
That's fucking awesome.
Like, not like paisley shit, but, like, I've got this one with, like, all these beautiful multicolored birds and all these, like, pretty fish, and then I bought this one of, like, cats in the bi pride flag colors. It's just I've just got a bunch of rad shirts now, and
that's awesome. What the fuck?
I grew a giant, massive beard. It's so big. I need to trim it back, but I'm not going to.
Are you wizard status or, like, what?
I'm getting there. I'm looking
yeah.
at a big mirror right now, and this probably sounds weird because I've moved above my microphone, so I'm sorry, but, like, I've got it's like surpassed lumberjack at this point. It's getting to, like, wild man status, so that's not the best. But
oh my god.
I totally reinvented my look. I became like the Big Lebowski, basically. I stopped wearing, like, tucked in shirts and all that shit. I got yelled at once for wearing sandals to the office, but that was when... Oh my god, that's another thing that happened, is 2 natural disasters occurred in my life last year.
Oh my god. Yeah, okay, I remember hearing about that. I remember Georgia kind of getting hit with some shit, and I'd be like, hey, Uncle, are you good?
Yeah.
You good, homie?
We got hit down in Louisiana by a hurricane that was bigger than Katrina.
What the fuck? Oh, shit, I remember hearing about this. That's right.
And the only reason why, like, a lot of people are like, yeah, that hurricane came and went and it was nothing, but, like, they're still doing construction down here to pick things up, and where I live is more inland than a lot of the places. Some of that shit, some places, like, more rural cities, were without power and, like, internet and phones for, like, months.
Holy fuck, dude.
I was mostly fine. We got fucked over for, like, a week, and that was obnoxious because it was the middle of the summer. It was like 100 degrees. I couldn't sleep. Ruby, Holly, and I packed up the car at one point, and you couldn't get gas anywhere because people would camp outside of gas stations waiting for refills because they had to run generators at home. But we all loaded up in the car, and they were like, okay, we got to go find some place that has electricity, and we parked our ass at fucking Papa Pia's Pizzeria or whatever the fuck. And it was like a line out the door of people who wanted to pick up their food and go home. And we're like, is there any way we could eat in? And they're like, yeah, sure. We got, like, mostly empty tables. And we scrambled to the back where there were open outlets to charge our phones.
Oh my god.
We lived like digital hobos.
Digital hobos. Holy fucking shit, that is nuts. I can't believe that. I mean, I can, but, like, oh my god.
I still have memory of, like, Ruby and Holly both dipped and evacuated to be with some family members who lived at, like, the top of a big hill, so flooding wasn't an issue. And I stayed home just because, like, number one, I don't know. I didn't want to. If something bad was going to happen, I wanted to be comfortable while it was gearing up. But I remember sitting here watching the old Saban dub of the old Digimon cartoon and like laughing at all the terrible. People will recognize this, but like I had a phase last year where I drew a shitload of Gatomon. All of those were drawn in the frantic panic state, waiting for the hurricane to come and kill me.
Oh my god! Yeah, I was gonna say it's like oh yeah, Ruby and Holly left and went to go visit family. Me on the other hand, a captain always goes down with his ship, so I stayed back.
Yeah, drew furry porn.
A captain always goes down with his ship and draws fuck tons of furry porn before going down with his ship.
So I all of those drawings in like that week-long period, I scheduled them out to post like a day away from each other because I'm like, this shit's going to hit and I'm not going to have internet. So it would be at least nice to log on and see big numbers, big metrics when I do get back.
Oh my god.
So I did that, but I like remember I have an explicit memory of like listening to the terrible like cringy jokes and the bad accents and the terrible names of like attacks.
Oh god.
On this cheesy early 90s dub of a fucking really genuinely good show.
Holy shit.
I'm just sitting there like drawing my ass off and I'm just listening. I was getting like texts from my mom every 15 minutes being like, is it raining there? Is it winding? Are you alive? And that's not illegitimate. Because my folks live back up
that
north.
is super fair. Like if I was your mom, I'd be worried as fuck.
Yeah, I kept sending her videos like, the winds are picking up, but still not bad. And I heard a loud crack from like down the street, and I'm like, oh shit, I wonder what that is. And I looked over at my other monitor where it was playing the thing, and the big snowman Digimon, Frigimon, is just like, I'll use my Sub-Zero Ice Punch! And then immediately my power goes out.
Use my Sub-Zero Ice Punch.
I was like, oh, that's cool. And I walked outside and I saw what happened. A big ass tree fell on a person's house like a block down from me and just completely bisected the whole thing.
Holy fuck.
And I went to go like check and see if anyone was in there. I didn't really want to be walking around too much as the hurricane's about to like really pick up steam, but no one was there. They had left. They were smart.
Oh my god! Like I could just imagine you. Hello, you good?
Yeah, I wanted to check and make sure because if anyone was dying and I didn't do anything, I would have felt bad. But like that happened, and then early in 2021, we had a freezing storm that like cut power for like a few days, and we had to huddle around the fire for warmth.
Oh my god, I do remember that one too. I remember hearing about that.
Just a lot of shit happened last year. 2020 feels like it went by in a breeze, and 2021 feels like it was the length of 8 years.
I feel like 2020 was the wind-up punch, the absolute fuck fest that was 2021.
And then hopefully this year will be better, but I've had some mixed results at the sort of the start of the year. Like I'm back in lockdown right now, which I love, but that's just me.
Yeah, no, tell me about that shit. Tell me about your start to the new year, because mine has been a living hell.
I bet yours is probably worse, because all I remember is a bunch of really small, obnoxious things that I had to deal with. Like, I got up to, like, do the 3, 2, 1, crappy new year, woo, kazoo's going off. And then I sat back down, and our internet was out, and it stayed out for, like, a day. Just small irritants like that.
Oh my god, yeah, I wish. Holy shit.
Yeah, you hit me with what's getting you down, and I'll do the ba-da-da-da-da blues.
Alright, so handle it. Dude, this is like the fucking feel good podcast of the year, dude. This is sick. This is downer after downer, like it's
welcome to Catharsis Cast.
Yeah, welcome to fucking we haven't spoken in a year, so we're bringing each other the fucking pilk, dude.
I love pilk so much.
I love pilk so much. I can't stop thinking about it. Okay, so like, you know what? I'm gonna save the positives until after all these negatives. We're gonna end on a happy note. Okay,
we'll have some fun stories coming up here in a second, but
we'll have some fun stories. I'll get back. I'll talk more about like the animation and like what's gone down and like, you know, all that good stuff. But like, yeah. So essentially, what's gone down, that's not as good. So 2020, I I'm going to start back and then kind of get to the fucking new year. But 2020, I enrolled at, should I say my college?
I wouldn't.
Like, do you think? Yeah, I don't. Okay, I enrolled in some very, very prestigious university, and I worked my ass off to get there. I had been like, I had put like my 3 years, like 3 years of working my ass off, fixing my goddamned awful GPA from before I gave a shit about college, and was able to get into like a very, very, very good school, one that I can barely afford, even with financial aid, but one that I worked my ass off to get to because I wanted a very, very nice degree. Like, I didn't want, I told myself, like, if I want to go get a bachelor's degree, I want to go get it from a school that's actually going to be able to put the money where their mouth is and fucking help me out and give me some really fucking nasty credentials to go into the workforce with. And I'm very thankful that I was able to do that. But when I got here, yeah, that was not the case. Like, I'd worked my ass off to essentially go to Zoom University, and I started in their business track and took 1 quarter of that, hated it. I had a finance teacher who was teaching us finances, and like, lo and behold, he was like the CFO of Enron back before they went under, like Jesus. Literally up until their foreclosure. Yeah. Oh yeah. Like, this dude was like on the board while they were yoinking everybody's 401ks and shit. Like, it is like, it's insane. It's insane that he is now working at a fucking college doing finances. Holy shit. Like, oh my God. It blew my mind. So that was like the final straw. I was like, okay, no, I am not going to be a business major for the rest of these 2 years. I'm sorry. So I switched to music technology because that's far within my wheelhouse. And my game plan was essentially to get out of here with a 3.1 and then go into the workforce for a bit, try some shit out. I have some business ideas that I want to kick around for a bit. And then I wanted to go to, fuck it, I'll say it. I want to go to USC and get a master's degree in a very specific thing. So that was my game plan. So I switched to music technology. That's been great. There's been a lot of coding classes. I think like the quarter after we had the last podcast, I went and took Python. Python's big okay. It's not my favorite, but I got through it. I understand Python. And then that following fall quarter, I was to take the second part of the basic programming class. It should have been taught in the same language that I had learned, so Python. But instead, they were like, actually, we are going to consolidate all of the like basically A courses into one big ass B course. So you had kids that, like me, who learned Python, some other kids who learned C#, and some other kids who learned Java, all get compiled into this one big ass auditorium where we were all tasked with learning Java. Basically, cool. Very cool, very awesome, so fucking stupid. Oh my God. Because you had this absolutely massive discrepancy between the kids who learned Java at a quarter's pace and then these other kids who were literally struggling to stay afloat in the class because they learned C# and Python, i.e. me. I struggled my ass off in that class all this past quarter. I took a light semester. Like, I think I was maybe in like three or four classes, and I was barely getting my work done because, like, in my other classes, because of how absolutely fucking oppressive the workload for this Java class was. I don't code. I don't understand this. I'm not a computer science student, but for some reason, this is within the music technology track. And I get why, because, you know, you do a lot of coding language in this degree path, but that's not the point of the degree. The point of the degree really is to kind of understand, like, how to, like, you know, mix, master, produce, like all that shit. Like, that's like the backbone. Yeah. But then because coding is becoming so prevalent within the music technology sphere, and because there's so many students that like double dip with CS, there's a lot of coding involved in this degree path. So I've been struggling with that. I had a really fucking rough semester. It passed though. So I don't have to take any more coding classes. Like, I am good. Like, it was a great, like, it wasn't a great semester, but I did it. I put my nose to the grindstone. The only part that sucks about that is that in July, when I started Hungry Fox 4, I also started my Patreon. So I was an absolute fucking machine on Patreon, posting like a good like 30 seconds of animation every week to my Patreon.
Jesus.
Like, I was a fucking beast, dude. Like, I was kicking ass. My growth was insane. Like, I was feeling myself hardcore. And then like, as school started to kind of pick up, it went down the fucking toilet. And I was barely able to make my own fucking deadlines with Patreon. I was basically in my Discord, like, every single week being like, nope, sorry, no new update, couldn't find time to work. Oh, shit. You know, like, and it was just miserable because I had like all of this momentum, all of these people that were so down to fucking support me. And as soon as school started, they started dropping like flies. Like, before September, I literally had maybe 2 people that were dropping off on my Patreon, and just nothing but fucking growth. And then as soon as school started and as soon as I wasn't able to hit my own deadlines, which were super doable for me, fucking just started like losing income. And I was like, dude, what the fuck? This is my nightmare. And so I had to like basically just fall back on the fact that I could communicate with my patrons and be like, look, I'm very sorry. You know, I'm going to post what I can when I can, but just understand that I am still in college. And so that this can't be a full-time thing. Unfortunately, it's just, I have too oppressive of a workload. So that ends. You know, and I start to kind of try to get back into the groove, and it's still not kicking. You know, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take a little break over the holidays, and then like after Christmas, I'm gonna get back into it. At that time, Mulberry was going to take a trip back home, and so 26th, she flies home. I get back, and like she kind of had a cold, and I was like, it's okay. Like, if I get a cold, like I'll just like work through it. Unbeknownst to me, the day before she got the cold, I had gotten my flu shot and my COVID booster that like basically same day. So when I caught her cold, inevitably, it hit me with the worst cold I'd had in years. Like, the best way that I can describe it is that it took me back to a time when I was like 6 years old with the fucking croupy cough. And I was just up with a fucking humidifier, and I like just remember like laying as a 6-year-old being like, am I gonna die? And like, it was awful. And so I remember like, dude, I was home alone by myself, like too dizzy to walk or drive anywhere. And I'm like door dashing fucking menudo and to my fucking apartment from the local taqueria. And I'm like, what in the fuck is happening? I'm going to die. And then like, meanwhile, Mulberry feels bad. So she's fucking like basically like sending Mucinex and NyQuil to the fucking Amazon lockers, like at our apartment, because she can't be here to take care of me. And that being said, this is just me. We haven't even gotten to the other shit that's happening simultaneous to this. But like, I literally spent my New Year's in my apartment by myself, very sad, like just very sick. Just, I was not in a good space over New Year's. It was awful because simultaneously, December 26th, my dad breaks his hip riding his bike. My mom's calling me distraught. They don't know if he can ever walk again. And then simultaneously, I shit you not, an hour later, Mulberry's calling me because her fucking sister just tested positive for COVID. And now, like, that's where she's staying for the next week while she visits her family. And we have no idea what's going to happen, if she can come home or not, or if she's going to get it. And so, like, all of this shit is just compounding on itself. And mind you, this was the week where I was like, hell yeah, I'm going to get shit done. I'm going to finish the animation. I'm going to make some fucking music commissions happen. I'm going to do all this crazy shit. I'm going to fucking be a beast. No, instead, I was sick, stressed out about my dad, stressed out about my fucking girlfriend, dude. And like thank God, her fucking parent, like, or not her parents, her dad sprung to get her a fucking hotel room, like, away from the family. And thank God that he did, because, like, she left some rapid tests with them that we had sent with Mulberry. Everybody in her family had COVID. Straight up. Like, they took the test the next day. They all came back positive. And then at the end of the week, she took the last rapid test. It came back negative. She went to a lab just to confirm and get another rapid test done. And that also came back negative. She was cleared to fly home. But, oh my God, that was fucking crazy. So she actually had to extend her stay and then come back home that Monday instead of that previous Friday, which was like January 1st or something, right? And then January 2nd is when my Discord accounts got compromised. And then January 3rd is when my new quarter started at school. And now I have no computer to work on because I don't know how fucking compromised my PC is. I don't know if I got just token grabbed. I don't know if I was ratted. I don't know if they fucking rootkitted my shit. I don't know how fucked my machine was. And here I am, the eve of my new semester. I wanted to die. Jesus. And not only that, but also this is the fucking machine that I have all my music projects on, I have all my fucking homework on, all of my fucking logins on, and you guessed it, the fucking animation. Like all of my animation stuff, all of my commission project files were on this machine. Like in that moment, I was freaking out, stressed out of my mind, anxiety riddled, because I was like, oh my fucking God, I literally just lost everything. Everything is potentially compromised. Like in an instant, I thought that I had lost everything and I couldn't fucking handle it. I was so upset. And I literally unplugged my PC from the wall, unplugged the Ethernet cable, turned it off, left it off, and just I thank God I was able to get my fucking shout out to fucking Jenga Rainwolf, who works in cybersecurity, and I was actually able to give them a sample of the malware for them to pick apart and just to kind of see what was actually on my system. And thank the powers that be, or whatever the fuck, how you're saying, I'm not religious, I don't know why I'm saying that shit, but fucking, that whatever they hit me with was exclusively to the Discord client. It didn't touch my personal files, it didn't touch my fucking System 32 or any of that shit. It was specifically designed to nab your Discord token and then bug your fucking Discord client, so that way when you try to log back in, oopsie daisy, they now have your email and password. That's literally how it works. So if you're listening to this and you're hacked or something, the move is to, if you get compromised and it logs you and you click on an exe and it logs you out of Discord, the move is to immediately via your phone log out of Discord, log back in, change your password. Because now that they have your token, they can do whatever the fuck they want with your account. But changing your password and changing your email, both of those things reset that token and make it useless. And so as long as you change your password to something completely unrelated to what the last one was, there's literally nothing they can fucking do. And then just make sure that you uninstall and reinstall Discord on your main machine and you're good. And there was a few friends who got compromised via my account that were smart enough to do that, but I was not one of those people. I just freaked out. I just instantly fucking panicked. My mind immediately went to all my fucking files and everything, and just getting back into my Discord to try and fucking warn everybody. But literally sitting in my fucking apartment alone by myself, all of a sudden you're logged out of Discord and now your logins don't work. And then you're getting fucking emails from Discord saying your password has been changed. The email associated with your account has been changed. And then you're like, oh, holy shit. And so then you click on the fucking link in those emails to contact Discord to try and fucking be like, hey, this wasn't me, help me out. And then all of a sudden your PayPal that's connected to your Discord starts fucking ringing up amounts for random amounts. They're like, oh, $4.99, $4.99, $4.99, because now the hacker is gifting fucking nitro to their homies or whatever. It's the scariest thing. I got so fucking lucky that they were only ringing up the $4.99s before I fucking disconnected my PayPal from my Discord, because there was another person that I heard about who got their account compromised and they had their fucking whole ass credit card in there. So they not only got the fucking PayPal credentials, they got their fucking address, they got their name, they got the fucking 3 funny numbers on the back. And as soon as they did, they started charging fucking the $99 yearly nitro 6 times. So this dude in an instant lost $600 via their Discord account.
That's fucked up.
It is fucked. So yeah, I count myself incredibly lucky. Like everybody that helped me like get my account back like so fucking quickly. Like I literally like will like I still need to make like an official post about this now that it's just kind of handled. But like I literally cannot thank everybody enough like for being so fucking vigilant and like attentive to my account. Like when I fucking put out that blast like at midnight on that fucking Tuesday, like it blew the fuck up. Like Timber was on that, Shiriko was on it, fucking like just like the entire like, you know, homies and like my fucking servers and shit. Everybody was spreading the word, yo, Blue's account is compromised. And I feel bad that I wasn't able to save everybody who was messaged via my account, but it could have been so much worse had people not gotten the word out. And I'm just like so grateful that happened. And I just, there's a part of me that does feel guilty that these people had to like go through what I went through because of my negligence, because I wasn't being safe. And sure enough, like also like it came from somebody who like I had spoken to like a few times on like via Twitter and via like, you know, Discord. And like when they sent me the game, it was like I just kind of was like, oh shit, I'm pretty sure I've talked to you about games before. So scenario. Yeah, it's literally a nightmare scenario. It's like, okay, like I remember like talking to you and being like, oh yeah, like wouldn't it be cool to make a game? And then they were like, oh yeah, like something along those lines. Maybe I'm just getting the person wrong, like, or maybe I got it wrong in the moment. But like when they messaged me, I was like, oh yeah, like we totally fucking talked about this. And in my mind, I'm like, yeah, I want to make music for games. Like I've done that before. I want to do more of it. So in my head, I'm like, yeah, let me play your fucking game. Let me see what's what, and let me see if I can make music to it. And sure enough, fucking like the minute I was opening it, I was like, wait, what the fuck am I doing? And then in an instant, it was already too late. I was like, oh shit. So yeah, so that's going on now. That's over. That was my start of the year. That brings us to present day. And yeah, holy shit.
Is it too soon to make jokes about that hacking situation? Because I had something really, really funny happen when I saw that.
Dude, fucking lay it on me. Like, literally the first thing I did when I got back on my account and went to my server, I was like, hello, yes, I am calling about your car's extended warranty. Like, just instantly. No, jokes are... You have the pass. It's fine.
I've got the pass. Hell yeah. I remember seeing that post you made where you're like, I've been hacked. Somebody help me, save me. Floop is a madman. Yeah. And I was like, oh no, that's bad. I better not click on any links. And I got a message from you being like, hey. I was like, oh shit. What's up with this? I'm like, oh. I bet you're the robot. I bet you're the hackster. I'm not falling for this. And then I immediately get another message, like not immediately, like 3 minutes later, enough time for a similar message to be seen, opened, and responded. I get a message from fucking Blizzy that just says, "Hey."
Oh my god! Yeah, no, she was one of the other ones that got fucking pwned via my account. And she was like, oh my god. And she messaged me and she's like, oh my god, what the fuck? Like, my account's been hacked. Your fucking account hacked my account. I was like, oh my god, no, I'm so sorry. Like, it's the worst. It is the worst feeling in the fucking world, dude.
The timing was so funny, though. The timing was so good. It just fucking killed me.
Dude, that guy was so fucking stupid. Oh my god. Okay, you want to know, like, so I haven't talked about this with anybody, but there was so the reason why this was so particularly fucked for me was because I have two Discord accounts. I have the music account and I have Blue. So when Blue didn't work, in my mind, I'm like, fuck, they have the Blue credentials. But I didn't know my Discord client was just bugged. So I'm like, but they don't have the music guy credentials. I'm going to log into that one. And that one didn't work. And I was like, what the fuck? What is happening? They got both accounts in that instant. Jesus. So what happened was I still don't know. I still don't know if it's one guy. I still don't know if it's like a fucking call center full of them, and as soon as they nab an account, they just basically throw it at somebody else in the call center or something. But I think that's what it is, because my accounts messaged each other with hey. And then they were like, hey, do you want to try my game? No, you try my game first. And then the next line was like, Gondamara, do you want to play with me? I so hot, sweaty, sweaty, sweaty face. Like, fucking just making fun of me. Like, I was like, what? What is happening? And like, I was like, what? I was like, and that's where like it became so icky and real. Like,
that sucks.
It was the worst feeling. It's like getting, like I like getting my account back and basically coming home and seeing that like it's like coming home and seeing that your house has been broken into and there's writing on the wall and food in the oven that you didn't cook or prepare, and like there's just trash everywhere. You know, your phone's off the fucking dial. And, like, there's just, like, poop on the floor for some reason. Like, it's, like, the worst feeling in the world. And the worst part is that, like, all of the conversations that you, like, had before, they're all gone. And now they're replaced with just fucking, like tens of, like a good, like, 100 messages to just your friends. Like, and that's the part that's the worst, is that they also get a copy of, like, by like nabbing your token, they get a copy of who you talk to the most. And so they message those people first. So it's not even like they just get your account and then they start messaging your friends. No, they know exactly who to message, who is most likely to trust you. And that is the most insidious part. Like, so I'm like going down and it's great. Like, I'm having a great time at first because like I'm going down and it's like the message from you. It's like, sorry, I've been warned about the hacker man. Fuck you. And then I go down a little further and they're like, hey, do you want to try this game? And then like my one friend, fucking Corey, is like, actually, can you try these nuts? Just like the fucking guy blocks her. Like, it's the best. And then like, and it's like a lot of like goofs and gaffs like that, where it's just my friends dunking on these like morons from this fucking call center. But then you get to the point where you run into a conversation and the person's like, hey, try this game. And then the other person's like, oh yeah, for sure. Oh, hey, it's not opening. How do I get this to work? Oh, just run this. Oh, just hit run anyway. And they're like, oh, okay, for sure. And then nothing. And I'm like, oh no. And then I go to their Twitter. And sure enough, it's like, oh my fucking God, my account's been hacked. I don't know what to do. I'm so scared. What do I do? What do I do? And they're going through the exact same motions that I was. And then you get this feeling in your gut. And you're just like, oh my God, like, I did that. Like, that's my fault. And I know it's not, but it is. Like, it feels like it. Like, I know there's nothing I could have done in that situation. Like, but because of my neglect specifically, that happened. And that is where I think it got really real, where it's like, you know, you always kind of think about getting your account compromised or like your information stolen in a very selfish way, where you're like, oh fuck, I don't want my stuff to get stolen. But now it's gotten to the point where like the climate is like, now you have to worry about your friends and your fans and your followers and like my fucking Patreon server. Fucking like I was like directly speaking with people in my Patreon server, like going, dude, like don't like fucking put the word out, make sure that whatever fucking happens to that Patreon server, nobody clicks shit. Like, holy fuck. And I'm so glad I did, because like one of the last days that they had access to my account, they fucking added like all of the posts from my friends who were saying, hey, don't interact with Blue, he's fucking compromised. The hacker went into that server, deleted all of those messages, and then added everyone with, hey, check out this fucking new game. Like this new game that I made, new Patreon exclusive. Check this out. And it's like pinging all of the fucking Patreon roles. And thank God that like everybody was already in the know. Nobody was fucking hit. But like the fact that that could have happened, like still haunts me. And it's made me like basically take that shit a lot more seriously. Like, you know, like I've got like fucking like password manager now. It's like, I'm not fucking opening shit from Discord. I'm not clicking on anything from anybody, and neither should you, because it is fucked up right now, and Discord needs to kind of figure out a way to do something, or like something. But yeah, no, it is rough. It is not a good feeling, and it changes you. But yeah, no, yeah, that's pretty much it. That is the the feeling in a nutshell. Like, just, oh my god, yeah, Blizzy, if you're listening to this, I'm so fucking sorry. Oh my god, like she actually just got her account back. Like, I think like yesterday or the day before. And then there's been a few other people that have gotten their account back that were nabbed via my account, but there's still a few people that I'm like kind of working with to try and like coach them or guide them like to a solution. And it's hard because I don't know the steps that they've taken, and I don't know, what Discord's fucking doing, but it's all I know is that it's like, it almost feels like it's not enough. It really does.
Yeah. Yeah, get your Discord spayed and neutered. Don't let this happen to you. I really appreciate you telling me to like log in from your phone and immediately change the thing, because I would have totally assumed that like they gobbled up the passwords, yum 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 yum, Curious George, and then I'm fucked.
No, it's like, it's so fucked up. They only have your token. Okay. Right? So they already have access to your account. So essentially the way that Discord works, I've learned more about the way that Discord works in the past like month than I ever wanted to. But essentially what happens is when you log in with your email and password, it gives you access to a string of numbers and letters that connects you to the Discord server. Right? So like that is like your actual connection to Discord, not your email and password, which is good. Like that's good. But the part that sucks is that once you have that, you just have access to that person's account. The reason why they need your email and password is because they need to change it. So that way you cannot change your password and reset the token that they now have and log them out. Like that is why your email and password is so important to lock down. Because once they have that, they change the email, they change the password, and now you can no longer change the token that they stole from you. Like that's the gold nugget that they need to protect. And the way they protect that is they make it to where you can't change it yourself. So if you just immediately from your phone change the password, that token that they now just stole from you is no longer valid, and they need to go and nab you again. And hope to God that you try and log in via their fucking hacked client, because then once you do, boom, they have it again. So that's why it's also very important to log out, uninstall Discord, completely wipe it from your machine, and then give Discord the fresh reinstall.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, now I know. I also know, just never speak to me. Do not deign to come to my presence. Do you know how many Twitter followers I have? I don't want to play your peasants game. I'm above you.
Exactly.
Do you know who I am?
Oh my god, I am Hookum the Loof.
Yeah, I'm a stupid bitch. I don't have time for your shit. No.
Do you know how deep I draw my belly buttons? Fuck you.
You can put a whole person in the belly button and still have room for a person in the belly.
Exactly.
Although that good. I can't talk. I'm just like, god damn, that's a lot. I'm sorry the start of your year has been so shitty, but we're gonna do it up big style this year. It's gonna be good, and we'll talk more about that later. But I do wanna let's end on a positive note. Let's talk about one cool thing that we learned last year. All right, I'll go first then, I guess.
Let me chew on that.
Folks who remember what I was posting towards the end of the year, I did a big Toriel thing. I also did two. I did a New Year's animation, and I did a little Christmas animation for my friends Renee and Dylan of his cat girl. And those were fun. Go check those out. I know nobody cares that I just sometimes draw humanish characters. People are here for Goat Mom and Goat Mom only. But that's what I did. Is I did like a little stuffing weight gain drive thing. And there was a secret purpose to that. You stooges. You had no idea. You goons. You didn't believe for even a moment. You had no conception that I was using you for a reason. Twitter has this cool thing, and it's genuinely neat and interesting, called Media Studio, but they only give it to you if they think you're a quote-unquote business user. And there's no way to put this on your profile to tick a little box that says, I am a business user. But basically, it offers interesting audience insights. And since I'm big into marketing, like, as a career, sort of, I'm, like, marketing adjacent at work. I was like, oh, this is cool. This is very interesting. I want to get a look at this, and I want to see that. And it's got a whole bunch of tools for, like, video uploads and live streams and broadcasts and all this shit.
That's fucking cool. What?
It's incredibly cool. And if you don't have it, the best way to do it is just to, like, open up your Twitter and then, like, scroll down to the more option and go to, like, Twitter ads and, like, click around the Twitter ads and, like, sign up for Twitter for Professionals and click on analytics. Just click on shit. If you register enough clicks, people are going to be like, wow, this guy's going to buy ads. Quick, give him the media studio. But when I got it, I didn't have any actual metrics in it because it doesn't load the stuff past when you got access. I'm like, damn it, this is useless. I have no idea. Ugh.
That does suck. I would love to see the metrics on the Hungry Fox 3.
Yeah. I'd recommend get it before. Well, get it before and just, like, post some do what I did. I did a week of, like, engagement bait posts. That was what the tutorial thing that I did was. It was engagement bait. I think the drawings were good. I think it was a lot of fun, and I appreciated it. But I was using you. I was using all of you to see who logs on when and who shares stuff. And now I've got a really handy, like, insight thing that, like, I'll send you a clip of it. As you can see, like, a week by week breakdown. Something just fell on my fucking floor.
That scared the shit out of me, and I don't know why.
I'm sorry. I can't edit that out either because I was talking while I said it. I'll put a sillier sound over it.
Oh my God.
Here, it looks like this. It's just like an interesting, like, hey, this is when your followers are active. You should publish at these times in order to get the most engagement.
That's cool.
Because, like, the algorithm will crush and twist its heel down into your soul if you don't do it at this time. So anyone out there who is an artist, who is trying to sort of grind those metrics out and find out the best way to fight Twitter's cool robot that determines whether or not the people who hit the follow button actually get to see what they're following, stupidest fucking website, go ahead and look into getting Twitter Media Studio, because it's really useful if you wanna post at proper times.
Yeah.
What about you? Have you gotten a cool new learn?
I'm trying to think, dude. Cause, like, dude, like, I'm trying to fucking think. Give me like a. Give me like a topic. So what? Like, I haven't really learned anything new from Twitter. I just kind of post there whenever I'm, like, either, like, sad or horny. Like, and then it just does numbers because people, like, I mean, okay, the horny shit does numbers, but, like, the sad stuff is like, that's okay. And then, like, that's it. Like, it just, no, like, I appreciate it. And I like, cause I'll just kind of go there to vent, you know, and, like, or, like, just be it horny, be it sad, be it excited. I just vent on Twitter. Or if I'm, like, thinking of something funny, like, I'll fucking throw it at Twitter. Yeah, I guess, like, as far as, like, what I've learned, it's been a lot of, like, personal shit, honestly.
That's fine. Lay down the best personal lesson that you've learned.
It's like, I've kind of, like, because I've always kind of been, whether I like to admit it or not, the people pleaser. Yeah. Oh, dude, I don't want this to be another downer, but here we are. But, like, it's, like, I've learned to not be as obsessed with that as I am, because I've realized that it's gotten me in a lot more trouble than it's worth. Like, yes, it's nice to kind of be everybody's friend, but at the same time, like, not at the expense of my own core values and qualities. Like, so, like, you know, this is, like, 2021 was kind of the year of the trash taking itself out, I feel, where there was a lot of people in my life that were very close, and I was putting a lot of time and energy into those people, basically simultaneously to you know, everybody on this account. Like, I'm talking almost exclusively on, like, about, like, main account people. But yeah, like, some shit kind of happened. Some things went down. Some things came to light. And I was like, I don't fuck with this, dude. Like, I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna be exactly who I want to be. And if you want to come along for the ride and be a homie, fuck yeah, awesome. We're gonna be friends. Like, but if it's gonna be this like constant like back and forth about like, you know, me not making time for you, or like, you know, me not saying the exact thing that you want me to say, no, fuck you. Like, no, I'm gonna do me. And if you don't jive with that, that's cool, but we're not gonna be friends then, and that's okay. Now, granted, there are better days and there are worse days, and you know, I will definitely like feel myself kind of inching back into that, but I feel like I'm a lot better at reading the red flags on the wall than I ever have been, because of the people that kind of did end up leaving my life last year. And I have since like basically, I don't want to use the word replaced, but because they were always there, like it wasn't a direct replacement, but it was like a moment of clarity where I was like, oh my God, like I am putting so much energy into these people that don't care about me, when I could instead go and put that exact same energy into the people that I enjoy being around and enjoy having me around. And like, you know, fucking people that I'm talking about know what I'm talking about. Like, I'm talking about you. I'm talking about Ruby. I'm talking about fucking all the people in Fluff and in Guts. I'm talking about Corey, Starry, V. I'm talking about Frost. I'm talking about Lucy. I'm talking about Mystic. I'm talking about Gramps. I'm talking about Oni. I'm talking about Katie. I'm talking about Money. I'm talking about fucking Shiriko, Timber, Miranda, Grendel.
Ding ding, beep beep.
Yeah, I'm talking about ding ding. I'm talking about beep beep. I'm talking about. I'm talking about. You know,
I didn't want to interrupt your very positive message, but a lot of those just sounded like sound effects.
No, dude, it's like, but like, oh yeah, fucking Tori, like just all of these people, you know, fucking like all these people who are like so integral to like making me happy. It's just like, yeah, like I just met all of them like last year, or basically like that first like October after the pandemic hit, and it's like we've known each other for fucking years. It's like, it's insane. You know, and then like same thing with like you and Ruby. It's like I will pop in and I'll be like, hey, yo, what up? Like, what's good? Y'all want a game? And then I have time for that now, because it's like I'm not going and like bouncing back and forth between these fucking accounts and being like, oh yeah, hey everybody, don't fucking bully me when I'm not around, okay? And then leaving to go here where I don't have to worry about that. It's so stupid. Like, I can't believe I wasted so much time on that shit. And so, yeah, I'm in a place where I am a lot happier, and I feel a lot more fulfilled and a lot more comfortable with the people in my life, because I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to fucking do that. So, yeah, it's like, you know, I think about, like, my journey, like, as an artist and as a person, and, like, I'm like, yeah, like, this is where I want to be. This is where I feel I need to be. And I'm very appreciative and very gracious that my path has led me here. And I'm enjoying every second of it. So, fucking, there. Suck a dick. Fucking,
dumb
you
shits.
know who you are. Suck a dick, dumb shits.
See, that wound up being positive. And we even got to give a shout out to Sweet Ding Ding and Beep Beep.
Sweet ding ding, sweet beep beep. Oh my gosh.
No,
I'm gonna feel really bad if I forgot anybody. I'm gonna cringe forever.
Don't worry about it. If anybody got left out, it's because I interrupted and I'm stupid.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there you go. Now you've got an out. Just
Aaron.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna forget Aaron. I'm not gonna forget Forbic. I'm not gonna forget Flip. But yeah,
I know you at least mentioned Flip earlier in the thing, and now he's gonna
that's
flip
true.
when he gets a double shout out.
This is true. This is very true.
I'm unfamiliar with half of these people, but I really don't talk to anyone.
That's fair. No, I mean, like, a lot of these people, like, we kind of just, like, keep to ourselves anyway. You know, like, it's just kind of, like, we have our own little microcosm of, like, chaos that we all just kind of operate in.
The microcosm,
you know, like,
of chaos.
The best way that I could describe it, it's like our crew. You know, it's like the you and Ruby crew. It's like you guys just don't, like, really hang out outside of that crew, but, like, you have it. You know, We can
true.
also cut this out if nobody's supposed to know about that, but like that's like literally like what it is, you know. And I feel like everybody has that and should have that. You know, just a fucking like crew of people where you can just kind of bounce in and there's a call going on. Like if you don't have that, get one.
Yeah.
And if you don't find one, make one yourself and just fucking grab all of your favorite people and just throw them in there and see what happens.
Yeah, to the people who to the thought of like, I don't know if anyone's supposed to know that. Like everyone's got that. Everyone's got like their chums, what they hang out with.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all sick. If you like One Piece, we can be friends.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all it takes. That's all I care about. You got to just like One Piece, and then we can hang out.
It's just like, let's talk about One Piece.
Yeah.
What episode are you on? 1005? Okay. I remember when I was there.
I think that's the most recent episode.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Fuck, okay. That was a joke.
It just recently crossed over into 1,000. Look at me. I'm
my
talking
God.
about One Piece on my podcast again. I can talk about it whenever I want to. Hell
God.
yeah.
Dude, fucking A.
No. But like, just on the topic of like trash being taking itself out, this was also the year that I beefed with Tanuki Katoon, and that was fucking hilarious.
Oh, thank God. Dude, fuck that guy. Dude. Are we going to talk about NFTs?
No, we don't have enough time. This recording is 2 hours, and I'm gonna cut down at least a good portion of it. But like, it's
Yeah,
like
definitely.
it's approaching 2.5 hours. So I'm gonna say, with that note, we've covered a lot of ground here. We talked about a lot of the happenings of last year. It was a little bit less art focused than I was sort of expecting, but we touched on we touched on the big stuff that happened. Like you got to talk about your Patreon and school and all that stuff. Anyone who was following us at that point, they all saw our art stuff that we posted. So like that's what they've caught your streams, they've seen your scenes, and now we've got
the Mimi Creamy Dreams.
yeah, we've got a podcast full of asemic speech and stupid nonsense, just yelling. So thank you so much for tuning in. This has been Subject High, the only podcast on the internet with the guests who do in 2022. Check out Jamie Page's album Bittersweet. go buy that on Bandcamp Friday so she gets more money. It was really important to me last year.
God, Jesus, absolutely. Okay, so as long as we're shouting out musical artists,
do it.
go stream Porter Robinson Nurture.
Yeah, do it.
I love that album. That album got me through shit last year. So
I did not expect
you got
this to
Jamie
end.
Page. I have Porter.
Yeah, I
Fucking
did
love
not
Porter.
anticipate ending this with a shout out to musical artist, but
Yeah,
that's
Porter, if you somehow hear this, I'm so sorry.
Porter, if you somehow hear this, come on the show.
Oh my God.
We need guests.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I've got like a full year's worth of people who are like, "Hey, are you still doing that podcast? Do you want to have guests on?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll call you whenever I get this episode edited." And then a full year passed. I flipped a calendar over.
Oh my God. Yeah.
This is now where the podcast is over. Bye.